All right, Facebook land. It's Marshall Atkinson with Atkinson Consulting.
And Alan Howe with Easiway Systems.
And happy July 3rd. So it's 4th of July Eve. So Alan and I have a kind of a private over-under bet as to how many people are actually going to watch, because I think either my theory is that people are either crazy working to get done early so they can go home and have fun, or they're already not working and fishing and drinking or at the beach or something.
Yeah, I agree.
So, we'll see what happens. So about 2 or 3 minutes into the show, my number is 5. What was yours, Alan?
8.
8. So we'll see who's here. So if you're watching, please comment and say, hey, I'm here. And we want to know, are you working or are you already off for the day? So leave a comment. Let us know what you're doing.
Don't make me look foolish, people. Come on, 8.
All right. So Keith says, morning, trying to get done early. See?
All right. And I can see people on Facebook that have not posted. Come on, one of you.
We're at 7. We're at 7 right now. So I'm already done. I'm already out. So
someone watching. We need them to post, though. There's Michael. That's who I saw. Michael, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, are you doing okay? Do you have people doing stuff for you, pal?
Are you taking it slow?
Yeah, slow. That's my speed right now.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We got people on there. So poor Michael, I felt bad, and it was late at night here in Michigan, and he popped up online, and I just texted him. I go, "Is this taking it slow?" And so he goes, and I forgot California time. He goes, "Had to sign checks."
Yeah, right.
So we got to keep an eye on you, buddy. So
right. So Charles is hemming banners. Keith is working for a little bit today. That's great.
We got a new one up there. Who's that? Insprint Company.
Insprint. Yeah, he was on my thing yesterday. Missed my train this morning, so home for the day. And he's watching from YouTube. Thank you for watching from YouTube.
Way to go.
We're going to have a YouTube update in a little bit.
Where's Insprint located at? Tell us where you're located at.
Yeah, tell us your actual name. That would be good too.
Missed my train. That could be New York. That could be Italy.
Yeah, right. Oh, Mike said he's hired a new office manager. Congratulations. Delegate.
Good job, Mike.
Love it. So we're at 8 people watching. So, Alan, you win. So tell us what you're going to win.
We didn't underline gratitude so I don't look foolish. So thank you.
Right. Okay. You've got fancy prizes coming your way. Okay.
You know what? You guys text me, and if there's any samples from Easiway you want or something, I'd be happy to get you a press wash to try there.
Right. So before we get into the meat of the show, I want to mention just a couple things. First off is that on Thursdays, hopefully you guys have been watching, but I have an interview show that needs a name. This is the official link, Atkinson.fyi, name the show. And some folks that are watching right now have actually entered, so thank you so much for those entries. I've got, I don't know, 20 or 30 in right now, so let's keep them coming. The names that you're sending are fantastic. I love them. In fact, they're so good, I'm going to have a really difficult decision to make about how to pick. And I need to pick. I was thinking about having maybe opening it up to votes, right? And then I'm like, you know what? It's my show. I need to do the work, right? It's like Game of Thrones. I'm the king. I have to swing my own sword, right? So anyway, thank you so much for entering. I love it. So the winner is going to get an interview on the show, right? So you're going to have a whole show based around you and your company and what you do and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of my offer to you. So please take a minute. Some of the entries are frankly hilarious, and I would never pick them, but I like seeing them anyway. But others really make lots of sense. So anyway, so keep that coming. And the other
would be not Alan's show, but I don't think that would get picked.
It's not Alan. It's not Q&A with Alan.
It's not right? Q&A with Alan.
Right. And the other thing I just want to throw out there, Shirt Lab Tribe, we're still getting members in. Right now, you can't beat the price. It's $49 a month to join the tribe. We got lots of fantastic stuff in there. Yesterday, we had a private lesson with Lori Feldman, who is the database diva, about the 6 email marketing drips that you need to set up for converting your customers. And it's just a fantastic deal. Every single week, we're having lots of engagement. We're having a private presentation that, frankly, I'm involved in. I set that up. And next week, Tom is doing one about buying other businesses. He's got a whole presentation about how to buy a business, right?
And you know what? Now's the time. There are businesses that are hurting. A couple went under. Now's the time for acquisitions. It'd be a great thing.
Yep. So we got a whole bunch of comments. So let's get into them. Mike says, I'm actually getting ready to welcome our new puppy tomorrow. Oh, man, that's fantastic.
Right.
And for the office manager, has a huge accounting background and is implementing profit first. So
Perfect.
Congratulations on that.
Hey, Marshall, one before that, Ends Print said it's Jason. He's from North Jersey. Welcome. That's where the train was.
Yeah. All right. Jason, North Jersey. That's great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cora's here.
Hey,
Buddy
Cora.
Richard's here. Still hard to find the stream.
Good morning, Richard.
Be on the Atkinson Consulting Facebook page. It looks like a lot of people are watching from Facebook.
He's watching from YouTube. I think Richard means from YouTube. Still hard to find the stream. So
well, that's okay. So you found it. Congratulations. So that's all we care about is that you're here. Thumbprints with Marshall. Thanks. That was one that you sent, and I saw that. So congratulations. And Yost is in from Sweden.
How you doing, Yosta?
Thank you for watching. All right, so let's get into our the meat of the show. What do you think, Alan? Good?
Yeah, I also see my boss, Alex Mimosa, is watching but not saying anything. He is staining his cabin right now up in Michigan. So it's going to be a monster job. I think he might. Yeah. I'm afraid he's going to call a sales meeting, and we all have to go up there and stain his cabin.
Oh, yeah? He has to put you to work?
Something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, 4th of July. That's tomorrow, right? And congratulations, our country. Go America, right?
USA, baby. Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about independence.
Here it is. USA, warts and all, baby. It's still ours.
It's Independence Day. And so kind of my thinking here is that at one point, some of us, not everyone, some of us broke free from working for somebody and we started a business, right? And so that independent streak, right? So you're no longer under the yoke of Britain, right? You went off and created your own country, and this could be your Independence Day for starting your own business and being an entrepreneur. And I thought we would just take a minute and celebrate that. And because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a solopreneur. It's just me, and I guess you could count my son Jack in that if you want. But and of course my Shirt Lab partner Tom. I've actually got 2 businesses, right? Yeah. And so it's just one of these things where I'm no longer working for somebody. Every single thing that I do is for me, right? And I understand your pain. And so I just thought we would just take a moment to acknowledge that and reflect on that a little bit. So my thinking here is that entrepreneurs out there, I would like you to share your struggle. Think back, when you made the journey from actually working for somebody to being your own boss and it's your own company, right? What made you break free? What made you give the finger to Britain and just say, we're doing it ourselves, right? Your pamphlet, Common Sense, or your Tea Party. Right. What was the thing that made you break free? I'm very interested in that. So please share in just a couple words. We don't have to get into huge things, but while we're waiting on that, Alan, what is your thoughts on that?
Well, I work for a company, so I've not made the break ever, and I never have. Here are my thoughts that I was thinking as you were talking about that. Everybody that has done that, all of you, you guys are amazing, because there is work, there is sweat, there is anxiety. So coming from Michigan, where my whole family were auto workers, they went to Chrysler, they worked, they came home, they did whatever. But from that generation, my father ended up starting his own business. My uncle ended up starting a business just like everybody else, had an idea for a product in the home improvement industry, and on a handshake with some people, borrowed money from friends, had to pay them back with interest. And that is a very successful company. If you want to know, it's called Progressive Foam Products. If I know anything about business, I call Pat Culpepper, because he was the entrepreneur, and it is a highly successful business.
We've talked about him before, me and you.
He has. You know what? We ought to get him on. He would be great to have on the show, just as an entrepreneur and what it is on there. But you know what? The part that I think about every entrepreneur, every business owner, is that I have watched, people, not all of you, but them, anxiety at night, going, what am I going to do about this? How are you going to make payroll? All these things that go in it. You don't shut it off at 5 o'clock. It is 24 hours. And what? When there is a catastrophe, when there is a pandemic, when there is this, when there's opportunity, that's a different anxiety. So I'm like, you know what? I salute everybody on that, because it takes guts. It takes, initiative on there, and not everybody has that. And I don't know that I have. I don't do that. Now, maybe one day I'll be forced to, and I would rely on all of you. Help me out. And I think that's where community comes in. So that's my thoughts on it.
I think I would help you.
Thank you.
So, my thinking here is, I've worked for people for years and years and years and years. My whole background in the industry is running companies, but not owning them. Right. And then I started consulting back in 2010. Right. And I've been consulting since then. And it took me 8 years to to finally just pony it up and do it myself. Right. I didn't start doing this full time until 2018. And that's actually the same year I started Shirt Lab with Tom. Right. So I did 2 businesses that same year. Because I guess, once you're going to do it, might as well do it. And I know, like Mike Woolbright, he has a business that he does rehab, right? He's got a whole business completely different than apparel, right? And, Tom, he owns a brewery. He owns real estate. He's into all kinds of stuff, right? So a lot of people have more than one business, because I think once you get into the entrepreneur bug, you can't shut that sucker off. Like you just constantly thinking about, I can do something different, right? We have some people who have answered, so let's just review what they've said.
Go one up, Keith up.
Keith said, sorry, I thought I clicked there. I worked for a phone company. They outsourced my job, so my side business that was the side hustle became my sole source of income, right? So nothing says do it better than crisis. When your back's against the wall, right? Let's do it, right? That was the final push for him. I think that's probably a common thing, right? And
I agree.
Work 50 to 75% and getting 152% more money in my pocket, and the possibility of saying no.
Oh, good.
And excuse his spelling because he's Swedish. That's okay.
Yeah.
I went the other way, owning a shop to work for M&R. What originally got me was not liking government work. That's pretty interesting.
And that is, boss, how you doing? Got to do a little suck up right there. So guys, good
job, Alan.
Yeah.
And then Jason says, still waiting to have everything in line so I can quit my job to work from home and watch my baby daughter grow and be in her life. Also, everything else that comes with being your own boss. Well, that's good. And I appreciate that. Brian says, my previous boss came to me and said, you're not happy here. I'll pay you for the next 3 months to find something else. There you go. It's like pushing the baby bird out of the nest.
Fly, baby, fly.
Right? And Mike says, when I was in high school, we ordered T-shirts and got burned. I was frustrated and took classes at the community college. My senior year, just built it up while I was in college.
The man.
That's great. I love it. Everybody has, by the way, this is called your what? Do you know what the term is, Alan?
Your story.
Your origin story. This should be a video. This should be a blog article.
True.
This should be on your webpage, right? This is your why. This is how you got into the industry, right? And it's very interesting. Mike posted something else. Once you start a company, the second and third are easier. I started in my parents' garage, then moved to my house and moved to a warehouse while still in college, and just grew and pivoted into different things. At one point, I had 3 retail stores in our screen printing, and I purchased a small offset printing company. That's a lot of balls to juggle there, buddy. No wonder you had a stress heart attack. That's crazy. Make sure you're getting some help with that. We're real worried about you, pal, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, here, another one. I wanted to control my own destiny and be able to put the profits of my efforts in my pocket and not someone else's. That's exactly right. Let me tell you, I have worked extremely hard for a bunch of people doing a fantastic job. And right now I'm taking that same effort and that's all going to me. And the you know, there's a monetary thing there, but what I really appreciate is the fact that there's a self-satisfaction that I've never gotten from anywhere else. It doesn't matter what your boss says, but when you know and you can see engagement and your customers telling you stuff and that kind of thing that is coming directly to you because of the company you're building, there's nothing that can replace that. And I really love it.
And Brian Peters, I believe when he said that, Brian, correct me if I have you right, you own Allure Inc., I believe. Correct?
He's now in his 7th business.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
First one was a Tasty Freeze.
Yeah. One thing you realize sometimes is being smaller is more profitable. That's right. You don't have to be the giant.
Absolutely.
Right? So one of the things I do with my coaching clients, and we talk about this all the time, is how can you work half as hard for twice as much? Right. And it's really about alignment with the key customers and really understanding how you're selling your value, you're selling your profit, you're selling your secret sauce to them, and your alignment. It's all about alignment and fit more than anything, right, which all comes from your what? Your business plan. Right. Yeah. And so one of the things that I like to talk about with people is, do you have a business plan? And frankly, a lot of people in this industry don't. They just wing it, right? And getting that business plan set up is a core function. In fact, I've included that. I have templates in 2 of my ebooks. I'm so strongly aligned with that. And I write business plans for all the stuff that I do. And that really helps me with my focus and targeting on key customers. So.
And I think a lot of businesses, especially in our industry, they get started just as a small thing in our basement, things like that. And you might not have a business plan, but there's going to have a time. You need to really, if you're going to do that for any amount of time, you got to have one, because that's going to tell you what to do, where to go. Right. It's going to be your structure. And that business plan is not etched in stone. It changes. And there's nothing says you wrote it there, that's it, you live and die by it. No, you keep moving it back and forth. Right. And Brian keeps posting. That's great. So Allure Grow USA. Yep. He also manufactures glow in the dark and reflective paints, tape, and signage for the safety industry. Yep.
So Brian, you might as well post a link if you're going to keep writing.
Well, while you do that,
throw the website up there, dude.
I know some people use some of the Allure Glow products, and very nice.
Right. And you need to find and reward quality employees. I have staff that have been with me for 20 years. It's not the top line, but it stays in your pocket. Sacrificing to purchase our building was considered stupid 20 years ago, but now it's my retirement. And investing in ourselves, like workshops, classes, consultants, and books. And that's great. And, I met Mike at Shirt Lab Portland, right? Mm-hmm. And we went to he wanted to meet me and Tom, and we met at this bar. What was it called? The Dirtiest Sasquatch or something like that. It was the coolest bar ever. And that's where we met. So that's fantastic, right? And Sean got to do a SWOT analysis. That's great. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats.
Threats, yep.
Exactly.
There it is.
USA.com. Thanks, Brian. So lots of engagement today. And guess what? We're at 13 people.
I'm loving it.
3 people are watching from YouTube. That's fantastic. So, by the way, let's do a YouTube shout out, right? So my son, Jack, he's in charge of my YouTube. He's the YouTube master. He's 16. We had him on a couple weeks ago. He's going to be on later this month. And so my YouTube channel is Atkinson.fyi YouTube if you want to go there. Please subscribe and make my son happy. I've got a new deal with him, Alan. Do you know what that is?
Well, you told me that you're bonusing them for every amount that it goes up.
Every subscriber, I'm giving him $1, and it's all going to his summer how many video games and comic books can I buy fund. Right? So,
a live gamer.
Yep. So please help make my kid happy. Just subscribe. That's all I want you to do is subscribe.
Michael Wilbright.
Lots of cool stuff coming. So
Michael Wilbright just posted your link is not working. I don't know if he's talking to you, Marshall, or to Brian, who just posted the Lure Glow.
I don't know. So I think allure is spelled with an E. Maybe that's it.
I think there's an E missing on the Lure Glow.
Yeah.
Brian, check your link that you posted. Make sure it's correct.
That's why he offered me 50 cents to sign up. Well, you know, he's an entrepreneur too, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's all right.
So, but anyway, so we're trying to build that up. And Mike says it's Brian's link, not mine. So I'm glad I got it right. Anyway, so we're just trying to do better. And what's really interesting here is I haven't really done much with YouTube at all. And so that's a social media channel, and it's arguably the most used on the planet. We need to be doing more with video. And so that my whole thing is the reason I'm sharing it here is I want to share the journey of what we're doing so you can see the growth and just use this as a little experiment, you know. So that's what's up. All right, so got some great comments. Shirt Lab Portland, strong group. There's a core group of us that still talk all the time. Thank you, Shirt Lab. Thanks, Keith.
That's called community, man. That's awesome.
Shirt Lab Tribe. You got to be in it. I'm just telling you.
All the cool people are there.
Can you post the YouTube channel? Well, of course I can. It's right here. So it's got a big, long, coded name. So I have a bit.ly link, by the way. I have a custom bit.ly. So everything I do is Atkinson.fyi so I can track it. And this is my custom bit.ly link because the real link for YouTube is like 700 characters long.
Yeah.
And you have to have 100 subscribers to get your custom YouTube channel name, right? So I can't get a custom YouTube channel name so I can get 100 subscribers. And right now, Toadboard says we're at 64.
Getting there.
Right? So I'm getting there. And as soon as I get it, we're going to have a victory celebration because that's all Jack, because he keeps saying, Dad, you got to remind people. Dad, you got to post. Dad, you know how kids are, right?
Yeah. Sean just posted
65.
All right.
Hey, my son just got $1.
That's right.
You know what you get is like a little bell, you know, like
the sales bell.
A sales bell. You know, like when I was a bartender once. Every time somebody tipped me, we'd ring the bell, right?
There was a guy, he was a mentor of mine. I worked for him for a while. It's an independent rep, and he started off selling, this is in Ohio, Skyline mobile homes.
Right.
And made them. And Fred Hartzer was a great salesman, still is.
Right.
He's a good salesman. But I heard people work, they said Fred in sales, they had a bell that every time a mobile home was sold, that bell, people would just ding it and ring it.
Yeah, that's great.
Fred wouldn't. Fred would just go in. He'd just getting a bing, 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 and just keep doing it all the time.
Yeah, that's great.
He was. That's why he was the best. He was their top sales guy.
Well, here's the thing. There is something behind celebrating a win. In fact, in Web Tribe, what do we have? Every Wednesday, we have Wednesday wins where everybody gets to post their little victory lap so we can celebrate and have positivity as a group, right? And so that's like ringing the bell, right? I love that. And that's why I have on my whiteboard, right here in my office, what the total is, because I want to acknowledge how many I have and be looking at it. So,
and you have to celebrate wins, because sales, as someone who's done it for 33 years, is not an enjoyable process. It's more no than yes. So you have to celebrate those wins. And even if there's small personal wins, where sometimes in my mind, I'm celebrating just going, great, I got the appointment. Let's keep moving on. You got to stay positive. And if you can't keep yourself positive, nobody else is gonna.
Exactly. And here's the thing: is there's a great book by James Clear called Atomic Habits, and one of the things that he talks about in that book is the concept of stacking small wins consistently every day, right? Just little bitty things, right? Because there's steps along the way. So if you invest the time and effort to make yourself or your company or whatever 1% better every day, right? Over the course of time, you're going to be so far ahead than everybody else, because what happens is people try to focus on the big, the gigantic, the macro, right? I need to lose 50 pounds, right? But instead of just focusing on the fact that look at the process, not the fact that you've lost a pound, but are you eating right? Did you not buy Oreos and you bought a bag of carrots instead? That's what you need to be focusing on, right? Not the fact that you've lost that pound, right? So focus on the little things that are to get you to where you want to go, and not the goal itself. Because here's the problem with just focusing on a goal, like a money goal. I want to get to $1 million in sales. Okay, great. You're at $1 million in sales. What happens then?
Yeah.
So instead, focus on your lead gen process and build that. Focus on your daily habits. Like, did you make 5 sales calls today? I would focus on that instead of achieving your sales goal number, right? Because that is going to get you to where you want to go, because you're consistent in your habits. You will achieve your victory faster, right?
Absolutely.
By the way, Cora says, I'm pivoting my company to adding branding for my customers. By the way, she's a graphic designer. I also added 3 more this week. Congratulations, Cora. I wish I had a bell. We'd ring it for you. Great job. So let's go to the second topic. You ready?
Go.
This is all right. I don't think a lot of people know this. This is going to surprise some people. Boom. PolyOne merges with Clariant Masterbatch to form a new company called Avient. Hopefully we're pronouncing that right.
It is.
We have 0 details. So there was
I have a little. I've talked to some of the guys at PolyOne just a little bit. So, yeah, you know what? It's just PolyOne. If people don't know, and Marshall, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you like that.
That's okay.
You know, PolyOne owns Wilflex, screen printing inks. They, of course, we know a couple of years ago they bought the Rutland Union, Print Top, and QCM lines from Rutland Holdings. They're all under one umbrella. Then they have the specialty division of PolyOne Specialty, which is the Libra silicone, the Aquarius water base, and the HTV. Cora just posted something. I'm laughing. I need to not look at stuff like that. But they're HSAs. So Clariant Masterbatch, I had to look that up, is a manufacturer of colorants for the plastics industry. And they have merged with PolyOne, and they have brought a lot of these companies under one umbrella called Avient. Wilflex is still there. Rutland's still there. Everything's still there. They're focusing on sustainability. They're focusing on marketing. They're focusing on customer service. It's kind of exciting. The post I saw from some of the guys I know at PolyOne, I guess they're pretty excited about it. So,
well, it's nothing in business ever stays the same.
nope, not at all, not at all. So
This is very interesting. And have they named any executive changes? I know Neil left, right?
Neil and David Hayworth left, are not with PolyOne anymore. They did announce a new gentleman that's leading the helm. I don't know his name. I mean, I know the name. I saw it. I don't remember it. Let me see if I still have it up. I had it up at one time, and I don't know if I still do. I don't. I'm sorry about that. But they do have a guy leading it. I don't know where he comes from. PolyOne is such a huge company. They make colorants and anything. Like, I think they're probably making colorants and pigments for a lot of things in our industry, not just inks is what we think of, but they're also making colorants. I know, of course, I'm going to talk about fishing. You get a plastic worm and stuff, and there's all kinds of colorants and stuff in there. They supply all that.
Aren't fish colorblind?
No, they're not actually. They see color different, but they're not colorblind.
That was a joke. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I couldn't take it as a joke. It's a guy that fishes. I think this is just a good merger of resources. Of course, in the screen print industry. So I think what I was getting to for colorant of plastics, I'm sure they probably do a lot of our promo stuff, of colorants on there.
Right.
So I know there's been some changes, some reorganization, of course, with everything. Large companies, there always is. The guys I've spoke to, of course, Dan Solomon, who's been on here, who is just the silicone ink whisperer. He's just an amazing guy.
Right. Yeah.
Not just on that, but of course, Dan's from Michigan. I've been to his property, his family property, and in the outdoors with him, and just a good guy, good family guy. So, and then James Ortolani and Greg Brown, I know most of the guys there. Things are changing, and they're just going with the flow. But I think service, as far as Union, Rutland, Wilflex, will stay the same for now. QCM, the same thing. But we'll just have to see what's going to happen. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think eventually, I see in their future merging some of those SKUs, right? Like, there's too many brands.
I would be surprised if they don't, because there are so many. Wilflex was a brand that was bought by PolyOne from Flexible Products back in the day. Union was a separate, and Union, QCM, Printop, Rutland were all separate. They all came under the Rutland umbrella. Then that was bought. I can't see how it doesn't happen eventually.
Well, it's, warehouse space and logistics and marketing, and you just eventually I think it all funnels into one thing, because that makes better business sense to me.
They're already, going to be manufacturing everything under one roof down in Kennesaw, Georgia. So it'll be interesting.
So we'll see. So I wonder, I don't know what the trade show circuit's going to look like, but let's just fast forward. Let's pretend that Long Beach is still going to happen, right?
Yeah.
There might be a big thing there, right? So just fast forward.
Well, they did
mark this page. Let's see what happens, right? So
I remember when PolyOne and the Rutland merger, they had one big booth there with all the brands, and it worked well. So who knows what'll happen?
Yeah, right.
It'll be interesting.
It's going to be stay tuned, right?
Yeah.
So let's get to our next topic, which is dear to our heart.
It is.
Right. So this is something that you wanted to talk about. So let's lead the way here.
I was listening this morning, every morning at 9:59, Jeffrey Gitomer does a Facebook Live. I don't know if you knew that, Marshall, if you saw that. And I've been listening to it, and it's not long. And someone posted, and I really liked it, and that's when I emailed sent Marshall a text on this. And the post was, you might not be able to make the sale today, but you can help someone. And that is moving it down the line. And to me, all that makes me think of is that we sell on value. Are you providing solutions and not just a lower price?
Right.
And it's so easy to get into that price deal where you are, instead of just being a solution, providing solutions. Cora posted on her company, she's adding branding for her customers, added 3 more this week. That's huge because they're going, wow, I knew my brand. I think those are customers that, they usually know if their branding is lacking. And you can do that for me also, plus, designing stuff, then I party on. That is value. They see you as a partner, not someone. You're not just a store where they can buy things. You're not Walmart. You are a partner. You are specialized.
Right.
They come to you as solutions. And when I have good clients and they actually say, Alan is not just a sales guy. Alan and the company he's with, Easiway, is a partner on us. And that means when they can call me with any questions, any problems, and I want to be there to help that company be successful. Because if they're successful, I'm successful.
Right.
And
right.
that is partnership. And it's almost not even sales, but it is. It is value, because price becomes a non-issue at that point. It becomes all value.
Right. And what we always want is alignment and fit, right? Exactly. That's the number one thing about businesses. Yeah. Who is your best customer? Do they see you as value, right? And so Seth Godin has a really great quote, which is, marketers who have nothing interesting to say. I forget the exact quote. I'm ruining it here, but it's like not telling the punchline of a joke, right? But marketers have nothing interesting to say. Their last bastion is to drop price, right? Yeah. So, and so this is where commodity gets in there. So, I think for everyone just thinking about your business, right? So, are you aligning with the value that you're bringing? If you're doing shirts for people. Someone says, hey, I need some shirts. I got a thing. You go, all right, let me get you a quote real quick, right? It's all about quantity, how many colors, right? Then you're a commodity,
right?
Right. Like if you instead start asking some better questions like, hey, what's this for? What are you doing? And just what does success look like for you for this? And just start asking better questions and guiding them through that whole journey. You're going to give more value because you'll be able to, because you're the expert, you're the subject matter expert, and you're going to be able to help them out better. And then it's not all about the price. Then it's about helping them with whatever problem they're having. Right. And that's what you want to uncover is what is their problem.
I think when doing that too, like you said, you have to be a fit. There's got to be a fit there. And it's okay. We have to remember in sales, as young salespeople, I remember the hardest thing you wanted to hear was no. You know what? But no is okay, because if you are asking the right questions and you realize there's not a fit, that's okay. Move on. Yeah.
Or no might mean no now, but that doesn't mean no is forever.
Exactly. So all information is good. But you have to, and a lot of times they'll appreciate going, man, it doesn't seem like there's a fit. And sometimes when you say, if I think there's not a fit, that client will say, well, no, maybe not in this area, but what about here? And in their mind, they're already thinking something else. And it's like, okay, now they've invited you right in.
Yeah. So, yeah. For you, right? Hey, I'm really happy with this emulsion, right? Well, hey, let's talk, grease or something, right? So there's other things that you can sell them.
Well, exactly. So like as a chemical guy, I could work for a couple companies and have in my career, But you know what? It's not about the chemistry. Chemistries you can get, not always about that. There are chemistries you can make a lot of things work. I actually wrote an article for Impressions a couple years ago called "The Small Things," and it was on emulsions. And I kind of got a little bit in trouble for it because I put at the beginning, I said all emulsions work, all of them, whether they're made by Yolano Kiwo, Autotype, Sadi, whoever. They all work. And what happens is most people are using the wrong emulsion on the wrong mesh count with the wrong light source for the wrong application. And
wrong humidity.
The wrong humidity and the wrong process. And my job was to go in and try to fix all that, but I would bring my own product in. So all emulsions work. Most all inks work. And there's usually a process problem.
Right.
As a chemistry guy, stencil removers, okay, you could remove stencils with bleach. You could. Should you? Probably not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you can do, but you probably shouldn't do. And, there's 1,000 chemical manufacturers in the United States, but very
more than that. Come on.
Yeah. Well, 1,005. But the question is how many of them are specialized for your business and for what you do? And if I can look at a process
or understand you, right?
Exactly. And then we start bringing in sustainability. What are you really looking for? If you're just looking for price, well, fine. Gasoline is still, compared to a solvent, it's still pretty cheap. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just don't smoke while you do that.
No.
Hey, so we've got some couple comments. Yosa says it's not the fish that pay for the worms. And then it looks like Facebook is messed up. Gosh, I hate Facebook.
Huh.
So it's stalling. And so it looks like we got some Facebook defectors. So they came over to YouTube. Thank you for making the jump, guys. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Facebook stream crashed. Hopefully it's only me. I don't know if it's still launched or still going or whatever. Looks like we still have 9 people watching on Facebook. So anyway, I don't know what's going on. Facebook is Facebook.
It is.
Jesse says 100%. Thanks, Jesse.
Yeah. You know what? Jesse with Matsui, Jesse sells on value. If you've ever talked to him, he's been there at Shirt Lab Tribe and talking. He doesn't talk about, he'll talk about his product, but he's all about the process and the partnership. So
right. Yeah. And Keith says,
and you know what? We got to say this, and not to embarrass Jesse. We're coming up on Independence Weekend. Jesse served our country in the Marines for a lot of years.
I know. I saw that picture of him getting promoted.
Yeah.
With the general. That was amazing. Thank you so much for your service, Jesse. And anybody else that was in the armed forces, that's an ex-police officer, firefighter, EMT,
first responder,
anything where you're volunteering your time and body and mind in the service of our country and for the betterment of society. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. So this is a great, and I've seen this meme before. Goes back to the guy who fixes the ship engine with a hammer, invoice $10,000. And the guy says, all you did was hit it. He said it's to know how hard and where to hit. That's the value of the knowledge.
Yeah.
I love that. I've seen that meme before, and that's just fantastic. Thank you, Keith. Adam says, I still see you. Man, you got the Michigan crew here all the time, don't you?
We are up here in the mitten, man. We've got it going on.
Is that like the Michigan Mafia? What's the term for that? I don't know.
Oh, that will work.
Everything's working on Facebook, it looks like.
At Long Beach one year, I took to dinner. Adam was there, about 5 companies from Michigan all together. It was a fun time. So
yeah. And then Jason says all the cool kids are on YouTube. Thanks, Jason. All right. So what time is it? So we got about 15 minutes left. Do we run out of stuff? Nope. We got one more.
Let's go. This is a good one.
This came up today. You ready? Kapow. Sunk cost.
Lost.
Don't be afraid to change. So if you don't know what the term sunk cost means, is because you're spending money. You spent money. Your website, a process, an ink, a chemical, something, you got money tied up in it, right? And you don't want to change because, look at all the money I've spent on that. I don't want to get into something better, right? So I was having a discussion with someone, and they were talking about they want to learn how to register faster. So I was talking to them about, hey, because they're an M&R shop, hey, look at Trilock, right? And so he looked into it. Oh, it's $3,000. Oh my God, I can't afford that. I'm like, you're spending that every day. What are you talking about? And so they're like 12 minutes to screen set up. And like, you need to like drop that down. This can really help you. They're not CTS yet, so they're going to use the PIN registration model, right? And I'm like, look, you're spending that already. And if you let's just say it's, it saves you 3 minutes to screen. I may not, because I like to get people down to 5 minutes to screen and set up, right? That's really where you need to be. Let's just say it saves you 3 minutes. You go from 12 minutes, right, down to 9 minutes. That's 3 minutes, right? That's not a whole lot of time, but like, if you value your press at $300 an hour, because that's kind of an easy discussion to get to, because that's $5 a minute, right? Hopefully you guys are following that. That's $15 a minute. $15 for a 3-screen job, right? That's $15 a minute that you're saving, right? It's easy to get to that $3,000. In a week or two, like you're spending that already. You can save and save that money just by your increasing your uptime. And I think I'm fumbling through the conversation here. I don't know if I said that very well, but
you're doing great.
But the thing is that, you can recover that cost already because you're already spending the money with increased labor and overtime and all kinds of stuff. So if you really want to look at stuff and learn how to save and learn how to do a lot of continuous improvement, my first thing is measure what you're doing and understanding what it's really costing you. Right. And a lot of times you might have to spend some money at getting a higher performing consumable, a more expensive ink, something different, a better shrink wrap, a better process, invest in a technology or upgrade something, right? You're going to spend that money, but guess what? I guarantee you're already spending that money. You're just not having to write a check for it, right? So really look at this kind of sunk cost idea to see about how you can improve your business. And you've done this before with people, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think, it's a great metaphor what you're talking about, especially with the screen setup, because if you run the numbers just on time, when you run registration systems, you can actually save as much time where you're just gaining a whole nother production cycle almost.
Yep. Right.
And how do you put value on that? In my world, the big thing I think of always is screen opener. Screen opener, and this is kind of a soapbox thing. If I start going off the rails, Marshall, pull me down. But my thing is screen opener should not be in a textile shop ever. It's horrible. It's a bad cleaner. It's expensive. It's carcinogenic as can be. It's just not a good value. You know what it has? It's convenient. It's in an aerosol. It's right there. But you use so much of it because it doesn't clean well and it dries so fast. You have to use like 3 times as much. It's expensive per can. Where if you learn how to use a good on-press cleaner, such as like an Easysolve 842, yes, it doesn't dry as fast, but you don't need as much. And you get it, you buff it off, and you will save money that way, at least 70% in cost. But then screen opener, also the back end cost of it is it causes your ink to stain your mesh. Now you're using more chemical in the screen room. Wait, I sell chemical. Forget that. Just keep using as much as you want.
Yeah.
But it gets that way. Then you have to use a haze remover, which actually either scores your mesh or takes away part of the fiber, and your screens are weaker and you're going through more. So
Right.
there is just those sunk costs. You're already paying for something, but it's now about what can you do better.
It's
And
looking at the Band-Aids in your shop, right? Here's one, right? Oh, we don't want to invest in that $1,500 squeegee sharpener because that's just too much money and nobody wants to do that.
yeah.
I'd rather double stroke my underbase every single time. Right?
Now we're back on time.
Or I don't want to worry about my screen tension, right? I don't even measure that because, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
And
I won't buy another flash. I'll just run it around in revolver mode,
right,
which costs 50% more. And these are sunk costs. We talked about the PolyOne merger and stuff with Rutland and Wilflex in Rutland on that. These are premium inks, and they are designed. Do they cost more than, say, some inks out there? Probably. Their value is all about that you get more per gallon out. It's not about the cost per gallon. It's how much does it take. And they can run on automatic presses without buildup, longer, faster, without stopping. That's the value. And that's why they're still the #1 ink company, even though it's a higher price per gallon. Because
sorry, Jesse.
Yeah, in plastisol.
Right. Matsui is great too. We love Jesse.
We love Matsui, yes. So
it's just, so really just understanding things. And I think, Richard, hold on, we got a question. Let's get to that real quick. So Jason says, you have to experience with customer habits. What can we do more for customers other than great prints and quick turnaround? Okay. What can you do more for, I don't know who your customers are, right? I think really digging into that, here's the thing. Have you actually talked to them? Have you asked your customers what is important to you? Mm-hmm. What is or here's another one. Why do you do business with us? This is a great question to ask. Now, why do you do business with me? They'll tell you what's important to them, right?
Absolutely.
That's I'd be down that road all day long and finding out, right? Don't ask me and Alan. We don't know anything about your business. Ask your customers or potential customers what matters to them the most, and then build that. That's where I'd be doing.
Maybe you're finding that, and also, they're already buying from you. So there's a good relationship there. I love having those costs because now you're digging into their business and you're becoming a partner, not just a consumable that's who they buy shirts from. Right. And what you might find out too is going, wow, I have a lot of their business. Do you? Maybe you have just a small percentage of it, and there's a lot more going somewhere else.
What else can you sell?
Great questions. Yeah.
Yeah. What else can you sell them?
Absolutely.
So, all right. Richard says CTS. That's a great example. I can't afford that CTS unit. That thing's $65,000.
Can't afford not to.
Yeah, right. Well, how many screens are you burning? Well, some shops it's 8 a week.
Yeah.
Right. But to me, if you're in the 50, 60 screens a week window, you need a CTS unit.
Our friend Greg Kitson actually did numbers where he's actually said he has the numbers to show 24 to 36 screens.
Yeah, well, also it's helping with setup. It's helping with lots of stuff.
It's always about setup. I remember when CTS first came out, and it was all about you can get rid of film. Well, that's minimal. That's nothing.
That's one thing.
Yeah, the ROI on that would take forever. It's all about
setup. No, not necessarily. I bought, when I worked at T Formation in Florida, we bought the number, I don't know, 4th or 5th, whatever, Kiwo iJet when it came out.
Right.
And bought it from Jeff McHugh, our buddy Jeff, right? He was the one that we actually bought it from. And I did the math. At the time, we were going through about $400, $600 a week in film. And so it was how it's going to replace the film. And we paid for that unit, I think, in about 14 months, something like that.
But then
just you have film alone, not even touching the labor of filing the film and the benefits of all the stuff on pre-registration. None of that, just on the film costs alone, because the film was going up in price.
Sure.
And we, at the time, we had an Aspect image setter. And
okay, so that's a little different on an Aspect. Regular HF film, but still, when you start adding in all the other benefits, Your registration times are going down. You know, all the labor, you're like I said, not filing. Now you're in huge. And just the consistency, because you can just pull up a file, let's go. And and CTS has become where I am seeing now where companies are starting with a small auto or a larger manual, and they are actually incorporating a CTS right away.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing.
Right. Cool. Any last minute questions? We got 5 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Let's
it's
questions, people.
time. You know, we didn't buy any fireworks or anything to blow off here on our show.
I didn't. It's also, you know, we went from winter in May here in Michigan to it's pretty dry. So if you're doing fireworks out there, man, be safe. Everybody, don't start any fires.
Fireworks have been going off all week here in my neighborhood.
Yeah, they were going off last night in our neighborhood also.
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
At like midnight, and people were shooting stuff. I'm like, who are these idiots, right? And
we were talking before the show, Marshall, about, you know, when you were growing up in Florida, that fireworks are illegal, and you had a relative go out of state to get them. And in Michigan, they were, and we would go on trips to Alabama, and if we could get my mom to stop in Tennessee, there were a couple of fireworks places there, and me and my brother would load up and smuggle them across the state.
Oh yeah, that's quite common.
Yeah. So, so what's everybody doing? What are you coming up for the 4th? It's kind of just shut down a little bit.
Right. Who's actually working tomorrow? Put a comment. If you're backed up and like, hey, I'm going in for a couple hours, you know, God bless you. Put that in there. I'd rather you take the day off, but I totally get it, because I'll probably be doing some stuff tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Who's working Monday? Are a lot of shops closed on Monday too?
Yeah.
I think we need to remind everybody, and we were talking about this, but we talk a lot before the show. This is the first week in July. So this is third quarter starting.
Yep.
And on there. First quarter was great. Second quarter, oh my God.
Not so much.
Yeah, it was just a crazy time. Wake me up from this nightmare. Let's start off. Let's make this great. You got to get out there. You're marketing well. Start contacting customers, potential customers in your car on purpose. Be intentional. Jason at the Ends Print. Be intentional with those calls of who you're talking to. And I think we need to do that. We need to be intentional with what we're doing. And let's start off and make this a great quarter.
Sean says, open today and Monday, forcing myself not to come in Saturday or Sunday. I hear you.
Let me know how that works out, Sean. Let's see if he goes in.
Here's what you do. Tell your wife you're going to work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What? You're going in? We have the kids and the thing, and your parents are coming over. That way you won't have to work.
So I got a question. We got Gusta watching in Uppsala, Sweden. Right. Gusta, it's our Independence Day. You've heard from England on there. What does Sweden have? Any holidays or anything like that?
Yeah, we don't know. Americans, we're very culturally poor. We don't know what other people do.
Horrible. We know Sweden fjords, you know, on there. So, Sean, did you see what he just put?
Right, there you go. Hey, I'm so sorry. And Brian says business and marketing plans all weekend. I'll be doing the same. I'm trying desperately to finish. My book, Moving Past Disaster. I've got an online course I'm building, and I'm running into a big problem right now because I'm filming all the videos for the thing, and my cable that I rely on has an upload problem. I used to be able to do, using Soapbox, 24 videos in an hour, and right now the upload speed is so crazy slow. It is. I'm lucky to get 6.
Yeah,
it's just killing me, and so so I'm so behind right now because just what I got to do, and so I'll be probably doing a bunch of stuff probably on Sunday. I think Saturday we're grilling out and in the pool.
So my parents are actually on their way over to my house right now. I think I said I bought a brand new whiteboard, a 6 foot by 4 foot, like Post-it note one. And my stepdad and mom are come over. My stepdad's going to help me put it up straight because I know if I did it by myself, it would be a nightmare. So I'm excited to get that up.
Are you going to do the tip that I gave you?
I am not going to videotape it and have it.
No, not that. About using a level.
Oh, yeah.
And marking it off because that's what I did. Oh, good.
Ready to go.
So Alan right now, he's on the level.
For once in my life.
Sorry for the dad joke, but I couldn't help it. It says 6 June.
I'm assuming that's June. So
yeah,
but
that's probably June. But what does that mean? Is that like when your country was founded? Is that when the King of Sweden's birthday? What is that? We don't know.
Yeah,
we're stupid Americans. Sorry.
We are a baby country of 230 years, something like that. So.
Sean's wife says hi. So. Right. Okay, well, where are we? So show's over, folks.
That Goodwin just posted.
Alan on the level, newsflash.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right. So, all right. Well, hey, everyone. I hope everyone has a safe and happy 4th of July.
Absolutely.
Grill some stuff out. I will be doing that tomorrow. Probably go into the store today and see what's available. And wearing my mask, of course. Wear that mask. Let's contain this thing.
Mask, gators, whatever it takes.
Do something, right? And anyway, I hope everyone doesn't blow their arm off with fireworks or light their hair on fire. And so that's it. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And we'll talk to you guys next week. And by the way, my Thursday episode next week, I've got the master, Richard Greaves, on
the man
to talk about Lean Six Sigma stuff in your shop. 2-second lean, I'm sure, is coming up. So
can't go without mentioning it. So
tune in for that. And then we'll also have an update on maybe who's going to win the Name Your Show contest. So anyway, thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. See you.
And remember, if you served our country, first responder, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. See you.
See ya. Bye-bye.